Next, let's talk about bullet number 2 here of the presentation, which is basically how anybody can build their own and manage their own website as long as they have a little bit of coaching and mentoring along the way. The more coaching and mentoring you have, the easier it becomes because you'll find that an organic learning process. So it starts off a little bit complicated, but once somebody shows you some of the shortcuts in WordPress, it becomes a lot quicker. And like anything else, you eventually can become quite an expert at it if you invest time in it. So I'm going to walk you through some of the more common tasks of owning a website here. Now, in the olden days, and I say olden days because I'm talking about back in the day when static sites were kind of the dominating type of platform on the internet, you'd have a website like you see here. This is one of my older sites, and then you'd have to, in order to update it, if you look at the bottom frame there, if I wanted to update that page, whether it was moving the picture over or changing some of the wording, I'd literally have to go into the code above or into a design viewer and change it. And I'd have to do it on every single page of my website that needed changing. And if I added a new page and I wanted that to link that page from all the other pages, then of course you could see the rat hole I'm going down here. Each page would need to be updated one at a time. It was really, really cumbersome and very frustrating. Now, WordPress makes it simple. With WordPress, you basically need to learn, no, you don't need to learn programming anymore. What you need to learn is a dashboard. Now I've kind of simplified the dashboard view here in WordPress. I cleaned it up. When you log in, you can take it a lot further. But what I've circled there are the main areas of WordPress that you would need to learn to self-manage your own website. And yes, I am simplifying it, but once you get used to this, it really is that simple. So I'm going to walk you through some of the basic tasks here and show you just how easy it is to do stuff that you'd probably think in your head right now that you'd need to do if you were running a website. So one example is, I'm sure we all need to do this at some point if we have a website, is what if I need to create a new web page? Well, again, in the olden days, you probably had a web programmer. You'd have to call them up and tell them about the page you wanted and email them photos and do all this crazy stuff. Well, now with WordPress, assuming you know what you want on that page and you've learned how to do it, you go into your WordPress dashboard and you'll see there's a section called Pages. It's a menu. You click the Add New button, which I've circled there, or it's an Add New link, and it brings up a little editor window. And from there, you create the name of the page. So here I'm creating one called New Products, and I'm using a little editor there, kind of like Microsoft Word, and I'm just typing in the list of products that I want to create. And then I'm just going over to the side of the page and clicking a blue Publish button, and there's my website published. You can see I've circled a new page at the top, and there's my new page literally published live on the internet. Obviously, this was a very simple example where I just typed in some stuff, but you get the idea. Updating a page is now really a three-step process, and the more you do it, the easier it gets for you to manage. Publishing news or publishing new content or articles or things that you know your viewers and your audience are going to want and need to read. Well, and we're again in the olden days, same cumbersome process that you'd always follow. With WordPress, very, very similar to what I just showed you. You go to the Posts menu, you click Add New, you follow a very similar process where you're basically filling in another visual editor and you're clicking a blue Publish button. And in this case, I'm going to do a Justin's News broadcast for June 2010. And you publish it, and there's the homepage of my website. The latest article bumps right to the top, where obviously most of my visitors will want to find it, and they can go ahead and read it. So it really is just that simple to publish your own content. Just seeing this alone made me want to start writing more articles and getting more involved with actual content creation on my website. So I hope it does the same for you. Adding pictures or files. Again, cumbersome process in the past. With WordPress, you have a media library. So there's a little menu here in the dashboard called Media, and there's an Add New button, and all you need to do is navigate to your hard drive where there may be files stored. And once you find them, every picture that you create gets its own special place on your website in a location, basically with its own web address. And it gets added to a media library. And this is a giant library of, it can be images or videos or even PDF documents or whatever you want to use. And then later on, when I'm building pages or writing articles or posts on my website, I can reference these media items and just bring them in when I need them. So it's a really great feature to have. Or how about adding video to a website? So obviously video is becoming massive. I think YouTube is now the second largest search engine on the internet. And pretty much everybody I know is on something like YouTube or Vimeo watching video almost daily. And so it's becoming a huge part of our online internet experience, so to speak. So your website should be able to embody this. Again, with WordPress, very, very easy thing to do. Let's look at an example here of how you could take one of my YouTube videos and put it on a WordPress blog. So here's a video I shot, and I've published it to YouTube in the past. Well, YouTube gives you the ability to embed this video on other websites. So what you would have to do is go to your YouTube page, and I've circled the area where you get this little embed code. Your exercise is as simple as clicking in there and copying it, and then you go over to your WordPress website and you paste in the code into your post or page or wherever you're putting this on your website. And just like before, you click the blue publish button and you have a new post or a page with a YouTube video embedded right there inside of the page. So there's absolutely no reason why you can't tap into these amazing media like video and like photo or even like blog talk radio where you can embed podcasts or MP3s. All of this stuff is very, very easy to do with WordPress. And there's other tasks as well. Those are some of the ones I just showed you were probably the ones I do most frequently. But there's other stuff that you're going to need to do as a website owner. And again, with WordPress, pretty easy to do. So things like installing traffic analyzing tools. So statcounter.com and Google Analytics are two really big ones. Very easy to, all you do is get a little piece of code from one of these sites and there's a very easy place in WordPress to paste it in. And now as new traffic comes to your website, you all have all these great analytic tools to see what people are doing. Are they hitting the home page of your website and then hitting the back button right away? That's called a bounce. If they're doing that and they're doing that really, really frequently, then there's a signal to you to maybe look at your content and see what can you be doing differently to make people stay longer, or maybe you need to target different traffic, or maybe some people are going to your homepage, then always flipping over to another page that seems to be more important to them. If you know that, then you can invest more time in making that page even better and promoting that page. Um, Things like allowing people to subscribe to your website or your feed. With WordPress and most blogging platforms, to be honest, there is this RSS, really simple syndication feature that basically says every time an update happens on this website or a new piece of content is created, I'm going to update this syndicated feed so that other people can be updated, or anybody that reads feeds will know that your website has new stuff on it. So what a great way of keeping your fans up to date on your stuff. And again, having that subscribe option on your website is literally a copy and paste type of feature. How about adding PayPal or e-commerce features? In the past, that could have been a major, major undertaking. PayPal provides the button, and WordPress provides a widget or a little window for me to paste the button into. And that's about as hard as it gets. If you want to take it further and have your own online store, then there's e-commerce plugins that, again, you don't have to know the programming side of it. You basically learn the utilities of that plugin. And we have customers running e-commerce on their WordPress website very simply and very successfully. Um, Things like creating a private members area. Well, if you want to do something like that in your business, it's very easy to do. You don't have to pay any kind of special fee to do it. You just have to know how to find the WordPress plugin that lets you do that. And again, I mentioned social media in one of the previous slides, but again, there's all kinds of plugins that come with WordPress that let you connect with your social network really easily. So one example is the super.plugin, su.pr is the website. And the super plugin is great because if you write a new article on your website, as soon as you publish that live on the internet, this super plugin kicks in and says, I'm going to send that link to my Twitter followers and my Facebook followers. And then from there, it can start branching out to your other networks because Twitter links with LinkedIn and Facebook links in with Dig, and it goes on and on. So WordPress makes it very easy to start getting your content out in front of many, many sets of eyes.